Everyone, my name is Neha. I am a student of BSc Chemistry Honours 3rd semester and I am here for making a video on organic chemistry for the topic ethers and epoxides for visually impaired students. So let's get started. Introduction. Organic compounds having COC as functional group are called ethers. Their general formula is ROR dash, where R and R dash may be same or different alkyl or aryl groups, or one of them may be an alkyl group and the other aryl group. The divalent oxygen is also called the ethereal oxygen. Ethers in which the group R and R dash are the same are called simple and symmetrical ethers, while those in which the groups R and R dash are different are called mixed or unsymmetrical ethers. For example, diethyl ether, diphenyl ether, ethyl methyl ether, methyl phenyl ether. In these, diethyl ether and diphenyl ether are symmetrical and ethyl methyl ether, methyl and methyl phenyl ether are unsymmetrical ethers. Ethers may be regarded as the functional isomers of alcohols. For example, both dimethyl ether and ethyl alcohol have the same molecular formula C2H6O but different functional groups. Classification. Ethers may be broadly classified into the following three categories: aliphatic ethers, in which R and R dash may be saturated or unsaturated groups derived from aliphatic hydrocarbons. Aromatic ethers, in which either one or both R and R dash are aryl groups. Aromatic ethers are further subdivided into phenolic ethers and diaryl ethers. Ethers in which one of the groups is aryl while the other is alkyl are called phenolic ethers or alkyl aryl ethers. On the other hand, ethers in which both the groups are aryl are called diaryl ethers. Cyclic ethers. Ethers in which the oxygen is present in a ring are called cyclic ethers. They are classified as simple cyclic ethers and crown ethers. Simple cyclic ethers. Cyclic ethers containing one, two or three oxygen atoms in the ring are called simple cyclic ethers. Crown ethers. Cyclic ethers containing at least 4 oxygen atoms are called crown ethers because their three-dimensional shape resembles the shape of a crown. They are usually named as X crown Y, where X is the total number of atoms in the ring and Y is the number of oxygen atoms. For example, 12 crown 4, 15 crown 5, 18 crown 6. Nomenclature. Open chain or acyclic ethers. Common system. The common names of ethers are derived by naming the two alkyl or aryl groups linked to the oxygen atom in alphabetical order. And adding the word ether. In case of symmetrical ethers, the prefix di is used before the name of the alkyl or the aryl group. Some aromatic ethers, however, have their special names. For example, methyl phenyl ether is called anisole and ethyl phenyl ether is called phenetone. IUPAC name. In the IUPAC system, ethers are named as alkoxyalkanes. The ethereal oxygen is taken with the smaller alkyl group and forms a part of the alkoxy group, while the larger alkyl group is considered to be a part of the alkane. Acyclic polyethers. Long chain polyethers are named as oxa, derivatives of the alkane corresponding to the total number of carbon and oxygen atoms present in the chain. For example, 2,5-dioxahexane, 2,5-8-trioxanonane. Cyclic ethers. Common names. In the common system, the three-membered cyclic ethers are named as oxides of the alkyline from which they are derived. The names of some cyclic ethers are based upon the names of their fully hydrogenated products. IUPAC names. The IUPAC names of cyclic ethers: CH2O whole N, where N 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are given below. Oxirane, where N is equals to 2. Oxetane, where N is equals to 3. Oxalane, where N is equals to 4. Oxane, where N is equals to 5. Oxipane, where N is equals to 6. The italicized portions of these names are the suffixes used to represent the size of saturated heterocyclic rings other than with nitrogen atoms. In case of substituted cyclic ethers, the substituents are indicated by numerical prefixes, with the oxygen atom getting number 1. Oxa names. Cyclic ethers are also names as oxa derivatives of their corresponding cycloalkanes. For example, oxacyclopropane, oxacyclobutane, oxacyclopentane, oxacyclohexane, 1,4-dioxacyclohexane. Methods of formation. Ethers can be prepared by the following general methods from alkyl halides. Williamson synthesis. This is one of the best methods for the preparation of ethers. It involves the treatment of an alkyl halide with a suitable sodium alkoxide. The sodium alkoxide needed for the purpose is prepared by the action of sodium on a suitable alcohol. The reaction in fact involves the nucleophilic displacement substitution of the halide ion from the alkyl halide by the alkoxide ion by SN2 mechanism. This method can be used for the preparation of both symmetrical and unsymmetrical ethers. Similarly, alkyl aryl ethers, phenolic ethers can be easily prepared by treating sodium phenoxide with alkyl halides. Like halide ions, sulfate ion is a good leaving group. Therefore, in Williamson synthesis, halides may be replaced by alkyl sulfates. Limitations. A proper choice of alkyl halide and sodium alkoxide to be used in Williamson synthesis is necessary in view of the following considerations. Since a halogen attached to a double bond or an aromatic ring cannot be readily displaced by nucleophilic reagent, therefore aryl halides are not generally used in Williamson synthesis. Therefore, for the synthesis of simple alkyl aryl ethers, the reaction is carried out between an alkyl halide and sodium phenoxide and not between aryl halide and sodium alkoxide. However, if the halogen is activated by the presence of electron withdrawing groups at ortho and para positions with respect to the halogen atom, such activated aryl halides can be used in Williamson synthesis. For example, para-nitrobromobenzene reacts with sodium methoxide in presence of heat to give para-nitroanisole plus NaBr. We have stated above that Williamson synthesis involves nucleophilic attack of the phenoxide ion on an alkyl halide. Now, depending upon the structure, alkyl halide may undergo substitution or elimination reaction. Therefore, for the success of this reaction, it is essential that the alkyl halide must be such which predominantly undergoes nucleophilic substitution, since primarily alkyl halides are more susceptible to SN2 reaction. Therefore, best yields of unsymmetrical ethers are obtained when alkyl halides are primary and alkoxides may be primary, secondary or tertiary. For example, when ethyl ether is prepared by treating ethyl bromide with sodium tertiary butoxide. The above ether cannot be prepared by treating sodium methoxide with tertiary butyl chloride, since under these conditions an alkene, that is isobutylene, is the main product. With secondary, both substitution and elimination occur together, giving a mixture of ethers and alkenes, but alkyl halides only elimination occurs giving alkenes. Thus, when a mixture of tertiary butyl bromide is treated with sodium methoxide, tertiary butyl ethyl ether is not formed, but instead 2-methyl propene isobutylene is formed due to elimination reaction. Due to steric hindrance, secondary alkyl halides also prefer to undergo elimination rather than substitution. Reaction of alkyl halides with dry silver oxide. Ethers can also be prepared by heating an alkyl halide with dry silver oxide from alcohols. Ethers may be prepared from alcohols as follows. By dehydration of alcohols. Ethers may be prepared by dehydration of alcohols either in the presence of acids or heated alumina. Acid catalyzed dehydration. Symmetrical ethers can be prepared by dehydration of alcohols with concentrated H2SO4 at 413 Kelvin. The yields of ethers, however, depend upon the nature of alcohol, whether 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. Since in this reaction 2 molecules of an alcohol lose 1 molecule of water, therefore it is better called as intermolecular dehydration. Limitations. Though this method is useful for the large scale production of ethers, it has two major drawbacks. The preparation of ethers is always accompanied by the formation of alkenes due to intramolecular dehydration of alcohols. However, in case of 1 degree alcohols, the alkenes are formed only to a small extent, which can be further suppressed by using a large excess of the alcohol. In case of 2 degree alcohols, alkenes are formed in much large amounts than ethers, but in case of 3 degree alcohols, exclusive formation of ethers occurs. Thus, the order of dehydration of alcohols leading to the formation of ethers follows the sequence primary, secondary, tertiary. Therefore, dehydration of alcohols is used only for preparing ethers from primary alcohols. This method is not suitable for unsymmetrical ethers because a complex mixture of ethers is always obtained. Mechanism. This reaction is an example of nucleophilic substitution reaction in which protonated alcohol molecule acts as a substrate, water as the leaving group, and another molecule of alcohol as a nucleophile. The reaction may follow either first order kinetics SN1 or second order kinetics SN2 depending upon the nature of the alcohol used. In general, 1 degree alcohols follow SN2 mechanism, while 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols followed SN1 mechanism. Catalytic dehydration. Dehydration of alcohols to ethers can also be achieved by passing the vapors of an alcohol over heated alumina at 523 Kelvin. By the action of diazomethane on alcohols or phenols. or phenols. Methyl ethers can also be prepared in excellent yields by the action of diazomethane CH2N2 on alcohols or phenols in presence of tetrafluoroboric acid HPF4 as catalyst. From alkenes, ethers can be prepared from reactive alkenes by the following two methods. Direct addition of alcohols in presence of acids as catalyst. The main disadvantage of this method is that sometimes the initially formed carbocation rearranges to the more stable carbocation, which then reacts with alcohol to form rearranged ethers. Indirect addition of alcohols, alkoxymercuration reduction. Alkenes readily react with mercuric trifluoroacetate in the presence of an alcohol to give alkoxymercurial compounds, which upon reduction with NaBH4 in basic medium give ethers in high yields. This two-step process is called alkoxymercuration reduction or alkoxymercuration demercuration and gives ethers in accordance with Markovnikov's addition of alcohols to alkenes. The main advantages of this method over Williamson's synthesis are the reaction does not involve carbocation intermediates and hence there are no rearrangement in this reaction. Absence of competing elimination reaction. From Grignard reagents, higher ethers can be prepared by treating alpha haloethers with suitable Grignard reagents. Physical properties. Physical state, color and odor. Dimethyl ether and ethyl methyl ethers are gases at ordinary temperature, while the other lower homologues of ethers are colorless liquids with characteristic ether smell. Dipolar nature. Because of the greater electronegativity of oxygen than carbon, the CO bonds are slightly polar and thus have a dipole moment. Since the two CO bonds in ethers are inclined to each other at an angle of 110 degrees, the two dipoles do not cancel each other. As a result, ethers have a dipole moment of 1.15 to 1.3. For example, the dipole moment of dimethyl ether is 1.3 and that of diethyl ether is 1.18. Boiling points. Ethers are isomeric with monohydric alcohols, but their boiling points are much lower than the isomeric alcohols. This is due to the reason that unlike alcohols, ethers do not form hydrogen bonds. As a result, ethers do not show molecular association and hence have lower boiling points than the corresponding alcohols. Further, the weak polarity of the CO bonds does not appreciably affect the boiling points of ethers, which are about the same as those of alkenes with comparable molecular masses. Solubility. Ethers containing up to 3 carbon atoms are soluble in water. The solubility of other lower ethers in water is comparable to those of corresponding alcohols. For example, like ethanol, dimethyl ether is completely miscible with water. Similarly, both diethyl ether and N-butyl alcohol are soluble in water to the same extent. That is 8 gram per 100 gram of water. The solubility of lower ethers in water is due to the formation of hydrogen bonds between water and ether molecules as shown below. As the molecular mass increases, the solubility of ethers in water decreases due to a corresponding increase in the hydrocarbon portion of the molecule. Ethers are, however, fairly soluble in common organic solvents such as alcohol, benzene, chloroform, acetone, etc. Density. All ethers are lighter than water. Chemical properties. Ethers are relatively inert compounds, almost as inert as alkanes. Under ordinary conditions, they are stable to bases, dilute acids, catalytic hydrogenation, and to most other reducing agents. This is due to the reason that the functional group of ethers does not contain any active site in their molecules as compared to hydroxyl group of alcohols and phenols, even though the oxygen atom in both these functional groups contains 2 lone pairs of electrons. However, under specific conditions, ethers undergo the following reactions. Reactions of the ethereal oxygen. On account of the presence of 2 lone pairs of electrons on the oxygen atom, ethers behave as Lewis spaces and thus undergo reactions involving the formation of coordinate bonds as discussed below. Action of concentrated acids. Formation of oxonium salts. The oxygen atom in ethers has 2 lone pairs of electrons. As a result, ethers behave as Lewis spaces and thus dissolve in cold concentrated inorganic acids to form stable oxonium salts. Formation of coordination complexes. Being Lewis spaces, ethers form coordinate complexes known as etherates with Lewis acids such as BF3, AlCl3, FeCl3, Grignard reagents, etc. Due to the formation of these complexes, Grignard reagents dissolve in ether. That is why Grignard reagents are usually prepared in ethers. They, however, cannot be prepared in benzene because benzene has lone pairs of electrons and hence cannot form complexes with them. Reactions involving the cleavage of carbon-oxygen bond with halogen acids. Ethers are readily cleaved by hydriodic acid or hydrobromic acid at 373 Kelvin temperature. Form an alcohol and an alkyl halide. However, if excess of acid is used, the alcohol first formed reacts further with the halogen acid to form the corresponding alkyl halide. Similarly, cyclic ethers are readily cleaved by HBr or HI to yield dihaloalkanes. Reactivity of halogen acids. The order of reactivity of halogen acids follows the sequence Hi greater than HBr then HCl. As discussed above, the cleavage of ethers by halogen acids in fact involves a nucleophilic attack of the halide ion on the protonated ether molecule. Obviously, greater the nucleophilicity of the halide ion, more reactive is the halogen acid. Since the nucleophilicity of the halide ions follows the sequence I negative, then Br negative, then Cl negative, then Cl negative. Therefore, the reactivity of the halogen acids follows the same sequence, that is Hi, then HBr, then HCl. Mechanism. The cleavage of ethers by halogen acids occurs by the following mechanism. Step 1. Ethers being Lewis spaces undergo protonation to form oxonium salts. Step 2. The protonated ether thus formed undergoes nucleophilic attack by the halide ion either by SN1 or by SN2 mechanism depending upon the nature of the groups R and R' and the reaction conditions to form a molecule of an alkyl halide with the displacement of the weakly basic alcohol molecule. If the groups R and R' are primary, the reactions occur by SN2 mechanism, and if secondary or tertiary, the reaction occurs by SN1 mechanism. Site of cleavage. The site of cleavage of unsymmetrical ethers by halogen acids depend upon the nature of the groups R and R'. The following cases arise. If both the groups R and R dash are primary, the alkyl halide is always obtained from the smaller alkyl group. If one group is methyl and the other is a 1 degree or a 2 degree alkyl group, the reaction occurs by SN2 mechanism. Due to steric hindrance, the halide ion always attacks the smaller alkyl group, that is CH3 group, to give methyl iodide, while the bulkier alkyl group gives the alcohol. If one group is methyl and the other is a tertiary alkyl group, the reaction occurs by SN1 mechanism and the formation of products is controlled by the stability of the carbocation resulting from the cleavage of CO bond and protonated ether. Since tertiary alkyl carbocation is much more stable than methyl carbocation, therefore the alkyl halide is always derived from tertiary alkyl group and the alcohol from the smaller group, that is methyl group. It may be emphasized here that the high polarity of the solvent H2O present in concentrated HI 57% has favored SN1 mechanism. However, if the cleavage of tertiary butyl methyl ether is carried out with anhydrous HI in ether, the low polarity of the solvent ether would favor SN2 mechanism, and hence I negative ion will attack the less hindered methyl group, giving methyl iodide and tertiary butyl alcohol. Cleavage of alkyl, aryl and diaryl ethers. In case of alkyl aryl ethers, the products are always phenol and an alkyl halide and never an aryl halide and an alcohol. The carbon atoms of the phenyl group are sp2 hybridized, while that of the alkyl group are sp3 hybridized. A sp2 hybridized carbon being more electronegative repels a nucleophile, while the sp2 hybridized carbon being less electronegative attracts a nucleophile. In other words, nucleophilic attack by the halide ion occurs more easily on the alkyl group, leading to the formation of an alkyl halide and phenol. Secondly, a phenyl group is much bigger in size than an alkyl group. Therefore, because of the steric hindrance of the bigger phenyl group, the halide ion attacks the alkyl group, leading to the formation of an alkyl halide and phenol. It may, however, be noted that phenol is not converted to iodobenzene even with excess of HI. Diaryl ethers are not cleaved by HI because both the carbon atoms to which oxygen is attached are sp2 hybridized and hence repel the nucleophilic halide ions. Z-cell method. Cleavage of alkyl aryl ethers by hydroiodic acid HI forms the basis of Z-cell method for the estimation of alkoxy groups such as methoxy and ethoxy groups. Alkoxy groups such as methoxy and ethoxy groups in such ethers. A known weight of the phenolic ether is treated with an excess of concentrated hydroiodic acid. The alkyl iodide produced as a result of cleavage of ethers by HI is treated with an ethanolic solution of silver nitrate. The precipitate of silver iodide thus formed is filtered, washed, dried and weighed. From the amount of HI formed, the percentage of alkoxy groups can be estimated. With sulfuric acid, on heating with dilute H2SO4 under pressure, ethers are hydrolyzed to alcohols. When heated with concentrated H2SO4, ethers react in the same manner as with halogen acids to form an alcohol and an alkyl hydrogen sulfate. For example, diethyl ether reacts with concentrated H2SO4 to give ethyl alcohol plus ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Secondary and tertiary ethers, however, form alkenes. For example, tertiary butyl methyl ethers reacts with concentrated H2SO4 in presence of heat to give isobutylene and methanol. Reactions involving the alkyl group. Action of air and light, photooxidation. Formation of peroxides. When exposed to air and light for a long time, ethers are oxidized to form hydroperoxides or simply peroxides. It is a free radical reaction and oxidation occurs at the carbon atom next to the ethereal oxygen to form hydroperoxides. These peroxides are very dangerous compounds since they decompose violently at high temperatures. Therefore, serious explosions may occur during distillation of all samples of ethers if peroxides are not removed. Presence of peroxides in all samples of ethers may be detected by shaking them with a freshly prepared solution of FeSO4 followed by addition of KCNS. Appearance of a red color indicates the presence of peroxides. A simple method to remove peroxide is to shake peroxides is to shake an old sample of ether with either an aqueous solution of Ki or a ferrous salt. When ether peroxides are reduced to ether and I negative ion is oxidized to I2 or Fe2 positive salts are oxidized to Fe3 positive salts. Halogenation. Ethers react with Cl2 or Br2 to give substitution products. The extent of halogenation, however, depends upon the reaction conditions. For example, diethyl ether reacts with chlorine in the dark to give alpha-dichloro dienhyl ether. However, in the presence of light and excess of chlorine, all the hydrogen atoms are substituted to give perchlorodiethyl ether. Epoxides. Three-member cyclic ethers are called epoxides. In the common system, they are called alicyclic oxides, but in the IUPAC system, they are called either alkene oxide, epoxy alkanes, or oxidines. For example, epoxyethane cis-2,3-butene oxide, 1,2-epoxycyclohexane, synthesis of epoxides. There are two main laboratory methods for the synthesis of epoxides. These are epoxidation of alkenes. Alkenes on treatment with peroxides. Peroxy acids, also called per-acids, such as perbenzoic acid, metachloroperbenzoic acid, peroxytrifluoroacetic acid, etc. in an inert solvent such as CH2Cl2, CHCl3 or CCl4 give epoxides, oxidines. Due to the formation of epoxides, the oxidation of alkenes with per-acids is commonly known as epoxidation. Mechanism. Peroxy acids act like electrophiles and the reaction is believed to proceed by the following mechanism. From halohydrins. When halohydrins prepared by addition of hypohalous acids HOX, where X is chlorine, bromine, to alkenes are treated with a base, HX is eliminated and an epoxide is formed. Mechanism. It may be noted that synthesis of epoxides by base treatment of halohydrates is actually an intramolecular Williamson synthesis. Williamson synthesis. Manufacture of ethylene oxide. It is manufactured by passing a mixture of ethylene and air under pressure over silver catalyst at 573 Kelvin. Chemical reactions of epoxides. Acyclic ethers and cyclic ethers containing 5 and 6 membered rings such as tetrahydrofuran and 1,4-dioxane are quite inert and are often used as solvents. 3-membered cyclic ethers, that is epoxides, on the other hand, are highly reactive. This is due to the reason that 3-membered rings are highly strained. That is, they have considerable angle strain. Considerable angle strain. Because of their highly strained nature, epoxides ring can be opened by a variety of nucleophilic reagents under much milder conditions. Consequently, most of the reactions of epoxides are the ring opening reactions. These can be catalyzed both by acids and bases. Acid catalyzed ring cleavage of epoxides. Due to the large angle strain, epoxides are readily hydrolyzed by dilute mineral acids at room temperature to form corresponding 1,2-diols glycols. Similarly, halogen acids and alcohols in presence of acids can bring about the cleavage of epoxides. Mechanism. In the acid catalyzed hydrolysis of epoxides, the oxygen atom of the epoxide ring first accepts a proton to form protonated epoxide. The protonated epoxide then undergoes nucleophilic attack SN2 by water to give a trans 1,2-diol. Base catalyzed ring cleavage of epoxides. Unlike ordinary ethers, epoxide can also be cleaved under basic conditions. For example, when ethylene oxide reacts with H2O in basic medium, it gives out ethylene glycol. Similarly, sodium alkoxides, ammonia amines can also bring about cleavage of the epoxide ring. Mechanism. Due to greater electronegativity of oxygen than carbon, the carbon atom of the epoxide ring carries a small positive charge and hence can be easily attacked by strong nucleophiles such as hydroxide, alkoxides, phenoxides, ammonia, amines, etc. Reaction with Grignard reagents and organolithium reagents. Epoxides also undergo ring opening reactions with Grignard reagents and organolithium compounds. The addition products initially formed upon hydrolysis give primary alcohols containing 2 carbon atoms more than the Grignard or the organolithium compound. The epoxide generally used in these reactions is ethylene oxide. That's all for this chapter.